On this edition of Behind the Scenes, we expose the shocking truth behind exorbitant costs faced by both consumers and service providers in the transport industry.
Service in this country is so important. The thing is, to me, I've sent out 6 requests already, and none of them have come back successfully. Those that did come back were ridiculously expensive.
The cost of delivering my product is totally killing my business.
Of course, clients complain about high costs, and we do not blame them, but with fuel hikes, toll gates and labour-related issues, what can we do?
It's a fact of life in South Africa. Consumers are out of pocket because of high delivery fees, while transport companies are fighting to stay afloat in tough economic times. So, is our transport industry heading off the beaten track towards disaster? Find out as we take you behind the scenes. Did you know at least 1.4 billion tons of freight is moved on South African roads annually? Or that the South African courier services deliver an estimated 6 million packages every single day? It's a huge industry and a very important contributor to our economy. About 15% of annual GDP, roughly 500 billion rand. Nearly 90% of South African inland logistics is executed via road freight transport, an average of 500,000 freight and courier companies a day on our roads. All those trucks mean our roads take quite a pounding. Road infrastructure maintenance has a direct impact on the fuel price. Fuel has increased by 110% the last 4 years. Government's new carbon tax is also just around the corner, which will further impact cost factors. To make matters worse, about 40% of vehicles used to deliver goods are running empty to and from deliveries. That's on average 150,000 trucks and courier vehicles per day. Unfortunately, the consumer is essentially footing the bill for what is an inefficient use of truck capacity. We sent our investigators armed with hidden cameras out on a road trip, and the footage speaks for itself. Hi, sir. Quick question, are you coming or going?
I'm going back to Joburg, delivered some parts in Cape Town.
And on your way back to Joburg now, what are you transporting?
Nothing, it's empty.
It's these empty legs which transport companies have to bear, which land up pinching the pockets of many consumers and add up to wasted revenue for the transport service providers. Personal assistant Christine Walker is a busy woman. When she recently tried to have a package delivered to her mum, she was in for a shock.
Well, Mark, I've been trying to send a package to my mom in Durban, so I've looked online for quotes. Nobody got back to me. Only a few days later people got back at me, and the quotes that I have received were ridiculously expensive. Very, very expensive. So now I just think I might as well just go there and deliver the package myself.
And it's not only members of the public who are pointing fingers at transport operators. Jaco de Lange is a factory worker supplying various industrial components countrywide, who says transport costs are affecting his bottom line.
You know, Mark, I understand the guys are arguing and saying that, fuel costs are going up and toll gates and maintenance and all that, but, I'm paying for something to get from point A to point B and not from point B back to point A. So I feel it's very unfair that they're charging me to for the intellect back from my delivery.
Mark, you see, the problem here is the petrol prices have doubled in the last 5 years. We sit with carbon basically go up on a monthly basis as well. Apart from that, we sit with maintenance on our trucks. And then the biggest problem in our industry is empty legs. We take a truck down to Cape Town, but that same truck must come back and it's empty. So unfortunately, that cost must go to the client.
Charles Green is the managing director of Green Logistics. He manages a fleet of 20 trucks on a daily basis and says consumers just don't realize the pressure transport companies are under.
Consumers have to realize in the transport industry we face many challenges when it gets to affordable transportation. You have to realize that our overheads have just skyrocketed and our profit margins are really low.
It seems to be a vicious circle. On the one hand, you've got transport companies fighting to keep their profit margins in the green, and on the other hand, you've got consumers who are having to foot the bill. The question is, what is the solution?
Well, Mark, the big challenge here lies with load optimization. Freight companies and couriers companies unfortunately do not always carry loads to capacity. Half loads and empty legs unfortunately are the order of the day. because of the competitive nature of the industry, a collaboration platform is not being used to address these problems.
Johnny Fourie is the CEO of Shareload, a web-based logistics solution that say they hold the key to cutting costs in the South African transport arena.
The aim of Shareload is to facilitate discounted prices for cargoes on vehicles with unused cargo space on return journeys. This will maximize opportunities for transport companies to run full loads on their trips and thus pass the benefit on to the customer by providing discounts. Think Groupon for logistics.
The Shareload website will allow transport companies to register their routes and vehicles on the system and decide by how far they want to deviate from their original route in order to pick up cargo at discounted rates. Once they've registered, members will receive an email or SMS notification for customer cargo on subscribed routes. They then simply make a discounted offer on transporting the customer's cargo.
The transport company can make a discounted offer because in actual fact they are only filling an empty leg on one of their specified routes that would have been empty anyway.
Prospective customers will search the site for transport opportunities. Once they've fed in the required cargo and route into the system, they'll start receiving offers from registered transport companies via an anonymous bidding process.
We believe for the process to work, both the consumer and transport provider must win. Obviously the consumer wins because he doesn't need to phone around for a lot of quotes. The system automatically will generate the best price, and obviously they get the discount from the service provider that's offering the discount on his return empty leg. The service provider on the other hand will get an extra amount that they would not have had on an empty leg or return from a specific route. So it's a win-win situation for both parties.
Once the deal is set up, Shareload facilitates weighable instructions, tracking and tracing functions, as well as payment to the service provider.
Well, Mark, an additional benefit for the service provider is the fact that once we've received notification of proof of delivery, within 72 hours, payment will be released to the service provider. That's a huge benefit in tough economic times. Second thing is that the system is a fully functional transport management system for the small business owner that wants to use our system to manage his fleet.
The backbone of the Shareload solution and website is the One Network. The network, through its cloud-based architecture and established functionality, improves the time to market.
One Network is a supply chain technology provider based in the United States. They start on the premises that supply chain is a complex community of trading partners that pursue a common goal. Some of these partners include the Department of Defense in the United States and JB Hunt, which is a huge logistics company in the United States.
One Network then is currently acting as the platform, the back end if you wish, the powered by One Network for Shareload. What the team at Shareload have done is they've taken this platform and they've put a wrapper around it which would facilitate the Shareload specific interactions in a very clean and intuitive interface.
Our investigation has revealed that Shareload are certainly offering the ultimate cost-effective solution to the transport industry. They're offering a solid technology-based platform to both end users and service providers. From what we can see, it's a win-win situation for all role players involved.